Hello, we're sisters like Angel.
And Ally, where we highlight individuals making a difference in their community. And my name is AllyCat Castle. I'm a content creator for YouTube, and my channel is AllyCat Castle. And I'm Angel's older sister by 3 years. Yes, same mom, same dad, same siblings. And also, I'm a makeup artist for the news media. Back to you, Angel.
Yes, and I'm Angel. I'm a registered nurse, case manager, and I'm an actress, and I'm the sister of Ali, and I'm the best friend of Noel, and Noel is my best friend. He is our special guest for tonight. I know him from back in high school from mga totoy nene pa kami. And who is a very successful. He's actually coming in from Manila. That's why it's daytime in his area and it's nighttime in our area with Ali and Angel. He is very successful, very outspoken. If there's somebody that I look up to in high school and college who really speaks his mind, and he took political science in De La Salle University, I look up to him. So please, with no further ado, please welcome Mr. Noel Abelardo.
Hi guys.
Hi,
Hi, thanks for
Noel.
having me. Hello. Well, as Angel said, I am Noel Abelardo. I am here in Makati City, the Philippines. Today is actually our Binibining Pilipinas universe. So I don't know. A lot of our friends are watching right now, but
Yeah, but this is not
uh,
a live stream, so it will actually show
yeah.
after.
Yes. So just to let you know, if you hear screaming at the background, probably they're rooting for whoever. Yeah. So I'm here in Manila. I lead a tech logistics startup. I've been there for about 4 years. I'm also an advocate, an HIV advocate, and a photographer. So I do a lot of stuff. I'm an artist by heart.
Yeah, I still have
So
your
thank you.
drawing, your koala bears.
Oh Lord.
Very artistic from high school. Tell us a little bit about high school. How was
Ah.
being in the closet, coming out of the closet, being an artist in high school?
High school was pretty great for me. I never, because like what you said, I'm very outspoken, so I never got like super bullied. I think grade school a little bit, but I was always like, they called me the small but terrible type of person, because I would always argue and fight and speak my mind, and sometimes people would call me tactless a little bit. But the high school was great. It's where I met you. It's where I met a lot of our friends, a lot of my friends who I'm still friends right now. um, so it was fun because our teachers were supportive and all that. But the only difficult part was, it was also during that time that I was trying to find myself. So my identity. I didn't know who I was. I at least on an gender orientation sense. I didn't. I knew I was effeminate. I had a lot of gay friends. I had a lot of girlfriends, but I wasn't true to myself at the earlier stage of high school. But it was also the time that I came out
Was it
to
more
my
difficult
parents.
because we were in LaSalle Green Hills, that it's a Catholic school?
A little bit, but it's because I had friends like you. I had a very good support system with friends. And if I'm not mistaken, I was one of the first people in our group to actually come out, like for real, and to their
Yeah.
parents. It was around, I think, third year high school. Coming back to school, that I was already out. I did it. I think it was in summer of third year. Um, and I was one of the very lucky few who had very supportive parents. That's probably because we had gay men in our family. I had like my uncle that's gay. So it was kind of accepted a little bit in our family, because but even my dad, of course, my mom was super supportive and loving and cried all night when I was coming out to her. But I was surprised that my dad was also very loving and accepting when I came out. Like that was like, looking back, I feel what I was very, very blessed because I know a lot of people who don't have that, who wish they had that supporting, loving family. Um, and I'm very thankful up till now that I was accepted by my family.
Yeah, I think
So
I'm one
it
of
was
those who
easier for me.
actually was very like I look up to that. Like we would sleep over at your place before with
Yeah.
me, Paolo, Basil, and everybody, and we're
Yes.
kind
Yeah.
of like obviously like
Yeah.
LGBTQ, but your family was very welcoming. But I think things happen for a reason, and like later on, now I'm accepted in everything. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So Noel, for those of you guys who doesn't know, so Noel was my classmate on first year high school. So that's equivalent to eighth grade now. Is that how it is now, right? And that's
Middle
before he
school, I
went.
think. Right.
Huh? That's
Middle
before
school.
in high school. Yeah. So that's before
Yeah.
he went to semi honors. How important was it for you to have high grades in high school?
No, it wasn't important at all for me. Of course, my parents were asking me to be to achieve certain things, and like any kid, your parents would be proud and expected you to have high grades and all that. But it came as honestly, and this is not no shade, no bragging, no whatever. I I did not expect to be in the honors class. I never ever expected it. Um, I was very competitive, so I guess that played a huge role in it. I played sports. I was a volleyball player. I joined a lot of essay writing contests in high school, art contests in high school, and I was extremely competitive. So that played a huge role in, I guess, my success a little bit in high school. But I wouldn't say I was like the top achiever or I was like a super achiever. I think I played my cards right. You know, I
Mhm.
I I was very close with the teachers. I'd get tutors. Angel would be my math tutor because I hated math. So she would be my math tutor before, and I had so I had that support. So I guess
Would you say
but
teacher's pet?
a little bit, a little. No,
But
because I
one
love
question.
I
Go ahead.
No, I love being close with teachers. And I think Angel, you were too, right? We had like our favorite teachers
Being
in
part of
high
the
school.
LGBTQ, we kind of gravitate towards like being
Yeah,
seen as those who would follow the teachers and kind of be their assistant on some things here and there. But these are the teachers who are
exactly.
supportive and not everybody. Ali, you had a question?
Yeah, so where did you get that motivation from, Noel? Is it just innate in you that you were very motivated as a young child or as a young boy? Or was it something that your parents instilled in you?
Yeah, so a little bit my parents instilled in me, but also because I got into sports and it was very helpful for me. I got into swimming. I remember playing soccer, and then of course I fell in love with volleyball. So I played a lot of those, and I was a varsity player. I know Angel still now. I think fears balls, big balls flying around. So I never had that fear. So I remember she was so afraid of like the ball hitting her face. I remember that so well in high school. Of course, me being a volleyball player, I didn't have that problem, and it helped cultivate a sense of competitiveness in me and teamwork. So I mean, sports was really important for me when I was in high school.
Just out of curiosity, were you trying to be motivated or be competitive because you were staying away from your feelings as not yet being sure of you being in the closet at that time?
Not really, because again, like what I said, I mean on our previous conversation, I didn't know what gay was. I didn't know what, I knew I was effeminate a little bit. I get teased for being effeminate and called bakla and all that, but I never had that sense of I was attracted to men until, of
Until
course, my
when? So
first love.
exactly. So now the big reveal.
You know, Okay, so I remember this so well because like what the angel said, we're very close with teachers, and I remember I was in school early because I was picked up by the school bus, and so I was there early, all the time. And then there was the classroom decoration thing. I don't know if you remember that, Angel. We
Like a
decorate the
decorating contest
classroom.
or
Yeah, something like that, like a decorating contest. So I was one of the, of course, being gay and creative, I was one of the people in charge of creating the uh designing.
designing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, designing the classroom. So I went there early, like early in the morning, and I think it was like 6:30 or something in the morning. And then here goes one guy, our classmate. We were 1D, I remember. And he he came from his basketball practice, so he was all sweaty, and then he wearing this jersey and came into the classroom to pick up his clothes and his bag. And I was there. I was just the only one there. And then he walked across me and said, "Oh, hey, Noel, or hey, Abelardo," because we're called our last names when
Yeah.
we were in high school. So, "Oh, hey, Abelardo," and then kind of pat me on the back and then smiled at me, and he was all sweaty, and I was completely starstruck, dumbfounded, and in love. And I was like, this guy is so gorgeous that I fell madly mad. And this is no joke. This is not just a simple crush. I really loved him. Like
Oh my
I
god.
was I was so in love with him that I wanted to be his friend. I wanted to be his boyfriend. I didn't know how or how to do it, but I remember we became very close. We would talk on the phone for like until 3 o'clock in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning about stuff. And I don't even remember what we talked about, but I remember just having that long conversations with him. And and I felt happy, like that he was my friend, and I knew he was straight. I think.
So
I
wait,
heard he
so
doesn't have. I heard he doesn't have a girlfriend now. So
so wait,
So baka
would you
available.
consider then that
yeah.
that was your first love?
Oh yeah. Like like PM. I would just use initials for the sake of
Mhm.
this interview. PM was he
Oh my
wasn't my first romantic love. I think but I was in love with him. I looked up to him. I adored him. I liked him as a person because he was very nice. Angel, you can attest to this. He's
Yeah.
extremely, among the straight friends that we have, he was one of the you know nicest
He's a
people. He
nice
would never
person.
bully. Yeah, he would never bully us. He would always be, kind to us. He would
So
always
did you
be,
have your
treating
uniform
us.
framed where he tapped your back?
I wish. No, but I have very fond memories of him. We're still friends. We still talk on Facebook and Messenger. So he knows who he is, I think. And
So,
everybody knows in our college, in our high school, that I had the hots for him.
so you already knew that you have an attraction for a guy at that time and
Yes.
male.
Yeah.
Did you embrace that
Oh,
feeling
no.
right away, like or your identity as that?
Not at all. I mean, it took a couple more years. There was even a time that in high school I had a girlfriend. I courted somebody, not because I was trying to be deceitful or hide my true self. It's just I was genuinely attracted to that girl, and I went for her. Maybe by courting her and making her my girlfriend. Um, and I did love her to a certain extent. Maybe not on a sexual,
Mm.
because we were too young, but I had genuine feelings for her. I cared for her. But yeah, just to answer your question, I didn't accept it right away because I kind of threw it under the rug. I even thought it was just like a huge crush because he was a basketball player and I wanted to be like him, So
So
I kind of had that notion.
would you say that you tried everything just to be straight so that you don't have to go through the life of being in the LGBTQ community?
No, I don't think that I tried my hardest. I don't think, I because even when we were young, I wasn't really normal person. I was always the weird, outspoken one, right? I wasn't conscious about what people would say or think. I had that personality. So I didn't want to conform in the straight community or being straight. But again, it was more about myself, like finding myself. I didn't know what I was. I was trying out things, but I also didn't know that I wanted to be straight. That I want to be gay. That I was just basically confused. I didn't. So I was trying out new things or certain things, but to conform and just force myself to be straight. No, ironically enough, I felt that after, meaning when I got older, like going into the corporate world, going into sales. That's where I felt the need to conform.
So just a quick question.
Mm,
So fast forward then. So you already
mm,
knew that you had like the genuine feelings for girls, and then you also had like very strong positive feelings for this guy. So when did you finally
yeah.
come out, like, or like admit that, you know what, then that you're gay, and when was that?
I think I came out to Angel and DJ Libunao even before I came out to my parents. I remember that phone conversation, Angel, so well. Like I wasn't like at that time it was before the Zoom, before Skype, before YM, before all that. We would have like three-way calls over the phone, and we would just talk. And I remember being in my room and I was talking to Angel and DJ, and I confessed that I had feelings for DM. Um, and I think I was gay. I think, yeah, I remember that I was saying I think I'm gay. Um, and then I went to London. I went for an
Exchange
exchange
program.
student. I became an exchange student in Oxford, England. And even then I had a huge crush with my professor, because my professor, no joke, no shade, no tea, looked like David Beckham.
Wow.
So I was like, oh God, this teacher is gorgeous. And then I came back to the Philippines. It was that summer. I sat down with my mom and I told her I have to tell you something, and this is about who I am and things like that. And I came out. Um, and of course we were crying. She feared because she didn't understand what gay was. She thought I wanted to be a woman, and I explained to her, no, I don't dress up like a woman. I don't want to be a woman. I'm just gay. I'm attracted to other men. So I had to explain that because her 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 fear was, I dress up as a woman, and it was very traditional still. And even now I think she has that notion. It's my family is very traditional, but I'm happy that they're very open minded. So coming out wasn't really a big deal, but I first came out with my mom, and then because my dad was, I think, somewhere. And then the next morning, I think my mom told my dad already, and then my dad just hugged me the next morning. I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to tell him I was gay. I didn't say anything to him, and we just hugged, and that was it. And we cried, and that's my whole coming out story in my house.
So
Such
that's
a
so
happy story.
beautiful. That's a beautiful thing that you really, like, you know what, you just got accepted by your parents. That's
Yeah.
every person's dream, is to be accepted by their parents more than anyone else in the world. So question, did you ever confess to this guy that you had strong feelings for him?
Not in so many words. I did say, I think, that I was in love with them. I don't remember. I think it was more I had a crush on you, and I think he knows. He
Oh,
knows because
right.
everybody, like, on our reunions I would get teased with him. Like,
That's so
so
cute.
everybody knew.
So
Everybody
so
knew
now
that, like,
So now just a quick question. So of course, so now you already basically know yourself and things like that. You're like a stellar student, you're very active in sports. your love life seemed to be so colorful and with very loving parents. So you went to De La Salle University for college, correct? So
Yes.
why political science?
I was trying to be a very eh, diligent child, an obedient child. My parents wanted to have a lawyer, so I studied pre-law. So I went into political science because it was a pre-law course, but I never really enjoyed it. It wasn't my calling. Like being a lawyer wasn't my calling. So after college, I just spoke to my parents and I said, I'm not going into law. I I did what you want for me to take a pre-law course and see if I would want it, and I don't. So I want to start. I want to start working. That's basically what I said to them. And again, thankfully, they were very supportive and said, "Yeah, go ahead. Do what you want and stuff like that."
Do you
So
regret that that's the course that you took in college?
A little bit, but again, in life, you shouldn't live in regrets. So it did teach me a lot, and it did help me in my career somewhat. And of course, all my classmates are now lawyers, so I have free law advice. So all my previous college blockmates are most of them are lawyers now. So I get free legal advice from them. I just pick up the phone
One
and
of the
call
things
them.
I loved about like the political science, because it's under the College of Liberal Arts, and I went to the computer science, so like we were like kind of like
Yeah,
the very opposite in terms of social, like being more social
yeah.
and being more vocal and being better communicators. At least that's in my opinion at that time. Do you think you got a
Mhm.
lot of those benefits in being more sociable and more better with communication skills? And how are you applying that now in the corporate world?
Um, yeah, yeah, because in political science, you're asked to speak up. You're supposed to recite long, long, cases and discuss cases and all that. And of course, yeah, all my friends, most of them were girls, but I did have a lot of straight friends also. It was in that stage where I kind of changed the minds of a lot of straight people. Because straight people would often think that gay guys would take advantage of them, would abuse them. They still had that notion, and I changed that because I wasn't, number one, I am not attracted to straight people, except for DM. Um, but yeah, so I wasn't really sexual with them. I would never even tease them about sexual things. So that kind of changed their minds about their perception about gay people, or changed their stereotypes against gay people. So that was one thing, and then bringing that to the corporate world, meaning I was able to speak my mind very, very, very well. Um, but also because I was out, I had struggles because I'm in sales. Um, I mean, earlier part of my career was in sales, and it was hard for me to close deals, especially when you're speaking with an older person that tends to be very traditional and very, dare I say, a slightly homophobic. So I would change my demeanor a little bit. I would change the way I would dress, and act a little bit stiffer or more masculine, um, just to get that deal closed. And yeah, I had to deal with that growing up in my career, or exploring my career, but also because I had a lot of support, great friends like you guys and great family, so it wasn't super difficult for me.
one thing that I respect about you is that you actually have been so fortunate in like so many ways, and remain so strong and remain so composed, and have lived a life so full of poise, beauty, and gratitude. So where did your advocacy of giving back, especially to like HIV/AIDS, start or came from?
um, I remember having my first scare with HIV, and I remember again, Angel was there. I was speaking to her. Because I think Angel, you were studying nursing at the time, was it or not yet?
Well, I was already living in New York at that time, and
Yeah,
that's
you were in New
I've
York.
I've already gone through my first test, and so I kind of can relate on
Yeah,
how difficult it is to wait for that results.
yeah.
Yeah, so we were, yeah.
So I remember just chatting with you because I was so scared to get my results. Because here at that time, like, I don't know how long ago was that, like maybe 10, 12 years ago. It took like 7 days, 7 to 10 days before you get your results. I mean, unlike now, you get it in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Before it was that long, and it was super duper duper scary. Like I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't function really well in like my work. So it was a scary time for me, and I reached out to Angel and asked her experience about it, and she encouraged me that, oh, everything's gonna be well, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. Um, and then after that, I had a friend who turned out to be a very close friend who turned out to be HIV positive. Um, and I wanted to learn more about it. Like I wanted to understand what people were going through and how I could help. So I remember attending a photo shoot, where there was this organization called Take the Test, who was conducting the education for the community for during that shoot, as well as free testing if you want to get tested. And at the time, I think it was already my, I don't know, nth time to get tested. So I was pretty, cool about it. I was confident. You still have that scare a little bit, because even though you know you're protected, you'd still have to have that. You'd have that little nervousness in you. So at that time, I was with my partner, my ex, and we both decided to take the test. It was very early on in our relationship, and then after the education part, they also asked if we want to be volunteers for HIV testing, and we signed up to be volunteers, and then we attended training. So we were trained to be to we were trained the entire thing, like the HIV, ABCs, the SOGI, everything. And so we became trainers. And then eventually it progressed into me being more involved into that advocacy, where I eventually became the vice president of that organization. I
Wow.
became I became a train the trainers counselor. Um, I never went through the counseling part, meaning the training to be counselor, because I didn't have time. I was so busy with work, but I was very very active. We would do community testing. We would go to Puerto Galera every Holy Week. We do that testing there for the community. Sorry about my dog. Um, and then every Sundays to a clinic in Quezon City, we would do that, and it it helped me understand PLHIV friends and people in the community, and that it should not be stigmatized. We should not be scared about it. And that's how I felt I was paying forward to the
So if
community.
there's like anybody struggling there in the Philippines right now, looking for support, education,
Yeah.
or wants to take the test, what can you tell them?
Um, just talk to somebody. Go to a free clinic. They have good counselors. They have great people there that would help you understand, and that understands what you're going through. They'd be able to guide you very, very well. But the most important part is just to talk to somebody. I had Angel to talk to. I was very lucky that I had Angel. I had some of my friends to talk to. But talk to somebody. It's very important,
Do you still
because
have those resources of like the free clinics and everything?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I'll
So
ask for it from you and
although
I'll add it on the description below later.
yeah, although Take the Test is already disbanded, we're still friends, like in
Mhm.
the group, because we all led very different lives already. But we're still very much connected with the HIV community, and I still help out right now. Even with my job, when they need distribution of goods, or condoms or lubricants to different clinics, I still help out.
Super amazing. And one of the things also I remember when I visited the Philippines was seeing your name on the billboard at Obar because you took the picture of like those gorgeous ladies
Yeah.
outside. So tell us about your photography and other things outside the corporate world and the hobby.
I think my love for photography started very young when I was with because my
Sock.
grandfather. Yeah, Photosoc. And then my grandfather introduced me to photography. He was a great photographer also in his own right, and he would show me pictures, and I would be amazed on how it was done, and he would he would show me how to develop films or
Wow.
photos, and I'm like, that's amazing. And then in grade school, I went into photo society. Like I joined a group called Photo Society, where I learned the basics of photography, and in advanced photography, able to develop pictures like on a lab, like the old school. Yes, there was an
Wow.
old school way to develop photos, printed photos, and yes, I learned that. I know how to do it. And then the eventually I joined like a federation of the Philippine photographers in high school, and I just I invested in my own camera. I bought my first camera, a Nikon, and I just started taking photos of people, um, and portraits and all that. And I just fell in love with it because what's good about photography is that you're able to show the beauty in that photo that other people might not see.
Mm.
And the reason why I love portraits more than stills and landscape is because people sometimes don't realize how beautiful they are. And me taking a portrait of you tell can somehow be able to show you, or to be able to show you that, hey, you're beautiful with this picture, and then see them light up is just something that would bring me pure joy. It was self-fulfilling. I didn't even realize that until a lot of people started approaching me and telling me, thank you for taking a beautiful photo of me and things like that. Um, and I also use my photography in my advocacy. Like, I remember I raised funds for, I did a photo shoot to raise funds for breast cancer awareness for a
Wow.
friend who had breast cancer and he was struggling financially. So I opened up Solace, it's called Solace, and I took black and white naked photos of women. It's an optional to be naked, but if they want to be topless and
Yeah.
post, and a lot of my friends and family and everybody supported, and I was able to raise about, I think it's about $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
um, for my friend. And then of course for my HIV advocacy, I took photos also to raise funds and awareness for that.
Ang galing, no? It's
And
really
then for
like using your talents and passion to help other people. And I think being part of
yeah,
the LGBTQ also, maybe they were more comfortable going naked on the photo. So I think you were able to use
exactly.
all of the things to your advantage. Ang galing.
Exactly. And then Obar, because I love Obar. For anybody watching, if you go back to the Philippines once this pandemic is over, you should visit Obar Philippines. It's the best
A
bar
lot
in
of
Manila.
talented, ano.
Yeah, and the drag queens there are extremely talented, and of course their creativity, it's like magic. And when they asked me to take photos of them, I of course I wouldn't resist. Yeah, I'll do anything, because they're lovely, lovely people.
Ang
So,
galing.
so what's next for Noel Abelardo? Because I felt like you've done so much, not just to yourself, not just to your family, not just your friends, not just for your community, but to the world. So what's next for you? You just keep on inspiring all of us.
um, honestly, I want this job to be my last job. This is a tech. I'm working for a tech startup company. Hopefully, if when we become successful or extremely successful, I'm able to retire soon. Um, and I've always dreamed of just traveling the world and taking photographs of beautiful people. I want to take random photos of people and show them how beautiful they are. That's been my dream. Like I wanted to travel the world and do that. Um, but also to raise a family. Um, so I wanna start. I'm very I'm the marrying type. Hint hint. People watching.
And single
So
for
I
now. So
yes.
anybody?
I've never had a foreigner boyfriend. Some people would say that I think my personality fits a foreigner more than a Filipino, and I guess a little bit that's true because I have a very strong, I have a type A personality. Um, but yeah, so yeah, to settle down, maybe raise a family. Earlier we were talking with Tony Rose, and one thing that wasn't shared with Tony Rose is that I think I'm still the father of Ocean on the birth certificate. I think they declared me as the
Wow.
father on Ocean's birth certificate. Um, and I've always been good with kids. I love kids. And just having that dream family with a partner
So
with
since
something I'm looking forward to have.
So since we're talking about family and the future and how successful you are at your current job there, because I know we're featuring global Filipinos, and I know that your company, as being working on that company, you've also traveled other countries to promote as a representative of the company. Would
Mhm.
you consider a partner in having that family outside the Philippines?
Yeah, of course. The heart wants what it wants. So if if I find the right person, I fall in love and he falls in love with me, then by all means I'm very much willing. So again, hint hint, wink wink
And
Angel and
your
money
heart
with a
have
boyfriend here
eyes.
in the
Your heart
US?
have eyes. Just nakita dito.
yeah,
Oh.
my heart have eyes.
So the alarm already went off earlier, but it looks like Ali, you have another question, or
I'm just actually, it's so weird, Angel. You actually asked the same question as I wanted to ask if Noel is open to, if ever, like, like for someone overseas. That's so weird. I guess the universe really is just like conspiring to this whole love thing for Noel. And yeah, so
Ah!
Noel, what's your advice to both young kids as well as to adults who still want to find themselves, because you found yourself at a very young age, and up
Mm.
until now you still know your direction. A lot of us, even I myself at age 41, I still sometimes get lost, and I'm so inspired from you. So what advice can you give both for the young generation who can find themselves and the older generation who are still having a struggle finding themselves?
For the younger generation, um, I would say find the support that you need from whoever, whether it be from another family, whether it be from your own family, whether it be to your friends, to your immediate family, to your secondary family, whatever. Just find that support because it's important to know that you're not alone. I fear that a lot of closeted or people who are trying to find themselves in that stage on a very
in
young age,
denial.
yeah, and they're very lost, and when you're lost you feel alone, and it's important to understand to anybody out there that you are not alone by any long shot. I'm here, Angel is here, Ali is here, anybody is here that you can talk to. We are part of that community. We are part of that family. So never feel that you're alone, and you can always reach out and talk to somebody. For the for the older generation, I guess it's more just live your life, live your truth, understand also other people's truth. Because admittedly, even in our community, and I know you know this, there's discrimination even among us, even among the LGBT community, and that's something that I really don't like, and something that I fight against. And admittedly, when I was younger, I was also in fear of the lesbians. I didn't like the lesbians. I didn't feel that I would be friends with any lesbians, especially the butch ones, or the more masculine type lesbians. I wasn't comfortable with them. But growing up, I realized that, hey, these are my, they're people. I could be friends with them. Tony Rose, TR is one of my best friends too, and she's lesbian. So I I feel that we should work towards removing that discrimination even within our community, because if we can't accept ourselves as a community, each other as a community, how in the hell will the world accept who we are? If we're discriminating against each other, why do we expect the world to understand us? And yes, we all have our preferences, we all have our likes and dislikes, but one important tip that I can give you is just respect each other. Just as long as you respect each other, you respect their faith, you respect their beliefs, you respect their orientation, you respect their identity. As long as you keep that in mind, I think the world will be a much, much, much better place.
And world peace.
Oh,
And world peace.
Thank you.
Coming
So
from Miss Congeniality, New Jersey, of course.
so we're like closing. We always ask all of our guests for three quick tips. One for
Okay.
beauty, one for health, and one for self care. What would you advise them?
Ah, for beauty, it's important to know your own beauty. Beauty is always subjective. You know, there will be haters. There will be people who don't like how you look, or and things like that. But understand your inner beauty, because once you understand your inner beauty, it comes out naturally. If you feel beautiful inside, no matter how you look, no matter how you weigh, no matter who you are, if that beauty is coming from within, it shines through. The light comes out, and it's apparent to people who are in love, right? People who are in love, their beauty comes out. But even when you're not, just find your own beauty, find your own self-worth, and everything else will conspire to be positive for you. I
Makinig
guess
kayo
that's
dyan,
gonna be it for me.
photographer. Oh.
Sometimes people don't realize they're beautiful, eh. And everybody's beautiful, no matter who you are beautiful. um with regard to health, we're getting older. I guess we take care of our body a little bit more. So I would advise to eat healthier. Stay away from trans fat, stay away from heavy fat food, fatty foods. I'm a pescatarian, so I advocate good eating habits and eating well. I do have some vices, but it's for me, eating healthy is really important, especially at this age. As we grow older, our metabolism slows down, so we need to watch what we eat and also do a little bit of exercise. Self-care. Self-care, very, very important. Find the time. Find the time to self-care. So whether it be going for a massage, whether it be having a facial, whether it be just chilling at home watching Netflix, or you know playing console games, because I'm also a gamer. Um, Whatever it is, just make sure that you have time for you, because you are important. Yourself is important. So people forget that. People, with everything that's happening, they put their family first, they put their career first, they put their love lives first. No, put yourself first, because you're important. Because if you're gone, nothing else would matter. So put yourself, you first.
I love all of the di ba? Coming from inside enough talaga. So we have to close. Any last words, Noel? Or promotion or anything
Last
like that?
No, I want to thank you both for being a pillar to the community, also to the trans community. I especially there in the US. I applaud both of you for being who you are and finding your truth. I think you've been telling that I inspire you, and you look up to me, but I look up to you both, because what you did, coming out and finding out your truth as trans women, not a lot of people can do that. and it's extremely, extremely brave for you to do it. Um, and you now having this channel, this platform for the community to reach out to you is also very important. So that's something I can't do now. Like I do everything. I can go. I don't do social a lot, like social media a lot, but I help where I can. And I think we all bring that sense of community by helping each other. And you guys are awesome. I think I hope you continue for years and years this channel, and I hope people really reach out to you because nothing in this world is better than understanding or knowing that you've been able to help somebody, that genuinely helped somebody and made a difference and made a change in their lives. And you both, I'm 110% sure that you have changed a lot of lives, and I'm super thankful to know you as my friends and my family.
Aww. Well, I love you too, and thank you for
I
being
love
here.
you.
And you were helping us also spread the word of positivity in the LGBT community by being our guest here. Thank you very much for being here,
You're
Ali.
welcome.
I'm just so, I don't know. I hope that this is not just like the holiday season coming up. But Noel, thank you for being so understanding and for being so patient and for being so kind, so generous of your story. I want you to know that the feeling is mutual. Um, you're not just a friend, you are a chosen family. And I want you to know that we are a family for a lifetime. And that's how much I
Yeah.
love you very, very, very much. So please, I really, I'm calling out to the universe out there that I hope you find the love of your life. I'll
You
do my very
too.
best. And
You
with you, of
too.
course, and
Yeah.
more than anything, let's keep on spreading love and speak up
Yes.
for the community who cannot speak for themselves. And I'm glad that you're
Absolutely.
doing that. I'm glad Angel that doing that. I'm doing that. We're gonna do our very best, not just as the LGBTQ community, but as proud Filipinos representing the Filipinos globally and universally. Yes! Back to you,
I
Yeah.
hope to see you
Angel.
both. I
Yes.
hope to see
Well,
you both soon.
thank you. I hope so.
Soon,
I
yeah.
hope this pandemic is over so we can both travel. We can travel there. Maybe you can take pictures of us there, you know. And
Yes.
and as what you said, I hope we can keep continuing doing the show, spreading positivity in the world. So please, everybody who's watching, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with everybody so that we can keep on doing this show every week, highlighting individuals in the LGBTQ community in the global Filipino. Please continue to support sisters like Angel and Ali YouTube channel and AllyCat Castle YouTube channel. Please. And that's pretty much it.
And
You wanted to add something, and then we'll say
yes,
bye.
and don't forget, guys, if you have like any questions, please write down in the comment section below. We would so appreciate any input that you have. You are the reason why we're doing this. You can also direct message me on Facebook, AllyCat Castle, or also on Instagram, AllyCat Castle. We really want to do this for you. And you can also direct message us on Sisters Like Angel and Ali. We'll be more than happy to hear your story, what you have to say, what you want us to basically bring to you. You are the reason why we do this. We love you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Noel. And thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.